This is Local 3 News at 6.
All Hamilton County schools and students are currently safe. There have been no incidents of violence at any of our schools today.
Thank you for watching. Cindy Sexton will be here at 11. That was a portion of the voicemail left for parents of Hamilton County students after false reports had circulated about an active shooting situation at Brainerd High School. Turned out to be a hoax call, but it certainly caused some scary moments. Reviewing the timeline today, police got the original call about an active shooter at around 11:15 this morning. Dispatchers sent all available units to the school. Traffic was blocked off from Brainerd Road to Shallowford Road, with Brainerd High School on Moore Road, of course, in between. At 11:22 this morning, the TBI announced they were working to determine the source of several active shooter hoax calls. This was going on at high schools across the state. About a half hour later, we learned that that's what was happening at Brainerd. Now, just before noon, Hamilton County Schools notified parents that there was no active threat and all schools, including Brainerd, were safe. One student captured the scene inside a classroom at Brainerd High on cell phone video, and there you see it as officers go into classrooms looking for a shooter after that call came in. The officers were heavily armed, certainly acting in an urgent manner, checking students, directing them to leave the classrooms. Now, that hoax call resulted in quick response from at least 4 different law enforcement agencies. All of them were relieved, as were we, to learn that the call was fake. But all this commotion caused a very stressful and scary day at Brainerd High School for students, staff members, and the entire community. Our team coverage continues with Abigail Martin on the right, who spoke to students and parents, and Liam Collins, who's been covering the law enforcement angle for us. Liam?
Right, and David, and Brainerd High School will reopen as normal tomorrow after the frightening and emotional scene that started here around 11:15 this morning. That's when a sea of blue lights descended here upon Brainerd High School, and dozens of parents showed up right behind it, right behind the scene, desperate to learn more about this. Some in tears, worried looks on their faces, waiting to be brought across the street to the school to be reunited with their children. We're told the school went into lockdown immediately. Students sheltered in place. That news, those calls from their children, created a very emotional scene here for obvious reasons, but in just a few hours the campus was cleared, and police say it's a sign of just how seriously they take these kinds of calls.
It's unfortunate this event unfolded today with being a hoax. It's brought out a ton of resources. It's worried people, it's scared parents. However, it has shown that our first responders in the area are currently 100% prepared to deal with something of this magnitude.
Now, this is one of the worst case scenarios for parents, of course, but again, this was determined to very quickly to be a false call, what's called a swatting incident. There was never an actual threat and no injuries were reported. Now, as for traffic, as you can see behind me, it's moving very freely across Northmore Avenue, a much different scene than what we saw earlier this morning with lots of road closings across the area, even going back to Shallowford Road, as I saw myself. And again, that operations at the school will be back right here as normal tomorrow morning. Reporting live from Brainerd High School, Liam Collins, Local 3 News.
Thank you, Liam. Well, as he mentioned, there was no shooter at Brainerd High School. No one was hurt, but we didn't know that at first. 911 operators had been told there was a shooter inside with possible shots fired, and that's when police and EMS workers responded so quickly. Here's a portion of what they were hearing.
Said the student locked himself in a room. It's going to be the suspect with other students and shot 6 of them, possibly 6 patients. The original caller was a male party. Call takers advising he had an accent. Stated possibly 6 parties shot. Was a male party with a handgun.
So what you just heard was frightening, but it was a hoax, a false call. Somebody did that on purpose. Thankfully, we later learned no one was hurt. And we weren't the only ones. There were other such calls, similar hoax calls at high schools across the state. In Clarksville, Tennessee, north of Nashville, a call was made saying there was a shooting at Ross View High School around 9:30 this morning. That caller told dispatchers 4 students were shot. In Knoxville, 4 schools were the target of a fake shooter phone call. Police believe that call came from out of state, and there were many others. And on this terrifying day for the Brainerd community, parents were notified of a potential active shooter and certainly feared their children were among those in danger. Our reporter Abigail Martin tells us more about what they had to go through today. Abigail?
David, I spoke with a parent, a sophomore and a junior, who say it was a normal school day before being instructed to go into lockdown. One student says when his teacher gave the instruction, the serious tone confused and concerned him. He says he immediately knew it was not just a drill and something was going on. Another student says his classroom began to panic and created a safety plan.
The room I was in, they had like some windows, and they was over here making plans and junk, talking about, oh yeah, we finna throw crutches at the windows and stuff, breaking the windows so we can leave.
Then to see them all outside the school this way, you know, you think the worst because of stuff that you've been seeing on social media in other cities.
Mark is a parent, and his son was safely reunited with him. They were excited to go home. The student inside says they began to brainstorm different ways to escape the potential threat. He says he's glad it wasn't a real situation, and he appreciates the immediate response. The two students say police escorted them from their classrooms to be reunited with family, and they're glad everyone is safe. Reporting live at Brainerd High School, I'm Abigail Martin, Local 3 News.
Thank you, Abigail. A spokesperson for Hamilton County Schools tells us resources will be available for students and parents as they process the stress of what happened today, and added this to the statement. Earlier today, Brainerd High School was the subject of a hoax that caused fear, anxiety, and a large community response to ensure the safety of students and staff. The statement goes on, fortunately, today's incident did not result in harm coming to anyone at Brainerd High. However, the response to the threat of violence showed us how committed our entire community is to protecting our students. We have that full statement on our website. And we want to stress Brainerd High School will reopen tomorrow morning at the usual time, and we'll have more coverage of the false call made to that school as this investigation continues. Police are determined to find out who's responsible and make sure that justice will prevail. And you'll hear from local leaders a bit later on what they had to say about the incident today. In other news, the Cleveland, Tennessee man on trial for his actions in the January 6th riots has been found guilty on 10 of 11 charges. Our partners at the Chattanooga Times Free Press report the charge he was found not guilty on is using a large metal Trump sign as a battering ram against police. Joseph Padilla's sentencing is set for September 13th. A business caught on fire in Sale Creek today. The Sale Creek Family Practice on Griffith Street was in flames when crews arrived around 2 o'clock this afternoon. The wind was blowing pretty hard at that time, so the fire spread quickly, and we're glad everybody got out safe. But as you can see, there was considerable damage. Ambulance fees in Hamilton County will be going up soon. Hamilton County Commissioners voted unanimously to increase all 3 categories of service from basic to advanced life support because the fees they've been charging have not kept up with increasing expenses. Current fees range from about $1,080 to near $1,500. Now, the $20 per mile transport fee is being raised to $25. 65% of people who use the county ambulance service don't pay for it, so much of the burden goes to taxpayers. This increase will help raise pay for first responders, although one commissioner expressed some concerns about whether this is the best way to go about that.
It seems to me that these charges are high, and I want to see all of our EMTs, our first responders, compensated better. I do. You know, I guess my question here fundamentally is this the best way to do that?
Once again, the vote was unanimous, and these higher ambulance fees go into effect on July 1st. Coming up, police are looking for the person responsible for vandalizing an historic cabin in Crime Stoppers, plus more coverage of the hoax phone call at Brainerd High.
And as the winds die down, we're going to have amazing weather tomorrow, and then we're going to start adding some rain back in the forecast toward the end of the week and into the weekend. I'll have the details. Your forecast right after this on Local 3 News at 6.
Police need your help tracking down spray paint vandals in Crime Stoppers. Someone decided to deface an historic site, and we hope reward cash will lead to their arrest. Here's Greg Glover.
Not a great way to start off this month, most associated with sweethearts back in February. Perhaps a profession of love spray painted on a wall could have been excused with a slap on the wrist, but in this case, what was printed and where, let's say no mulligans will be issued. We have up to $1,000 reward waiting if you know anything. Have a look.
This is a vandalism where the suspect doesn't gain anything that we know about, but it's a loss to the community.
Thankfully, it's since been repaired by Parks and Outdoors crews, but someone should face consequences for this.
They used spray paint on both the interior and exterior of the cabin at Greenway Farms.
That's the Snipeman Log Cabin in Hickson. It was built by pioneers in the 1850s and lovingly deconstructed and reconstructed in its current location in 2011. It's used as a gathering place for local residents and visitors alike. Chattanooga Police Sergeant Victor Miller explains what happened.
We believe that the suspects overnight, early in February, went in when no one was around, and they spray painted several things, some profanity, pictures of guns and different things.
Events and get-togethers had to be moved on short notice while restoration work at the historic structure was going on.
And during that time, the community was not able to use this cabin. We're hoping that the suspects have told someone, or that there's more than one that has committed this crime, and they've told someone.
Their loose lips could get you paid. It's believed this happened overnight, February 1st.
So if you happen to have been in the area and saw some suspicious activity, or if you think a friend or family member was involved in it, maybe they told you, maybe you saw photos that they took, maybe you saw a Facebook post, or any little thing that you can think of that may be related to this, call in to Crime Stoppers, provide that information.
If you know anything, we have up to $1,000 reward, and we'll never ask you your name, so whoever's responsible never know you called. The number, 698-3333, that line's manned 24/7. We want to hear from you. David?
Greg, thank you. And coming up, we have more coverage of the false active shooting call at Brainerd High School today. What penalties will be handed out when an arrest is made? Following today's Brainerd High School hoax phone call, our elected leaders responded to what was going on. Dallas Payton joins us with more on what they had to say. Dallas?
DC Mayor Tim Kelly, Mayor Weston Wump, and District Attorney Cody Wump all chimed in on what took place today. Mayor Wump shared a statement saying, while the incident was confirmed to be a hoax, today's response was proof the area emergency personnel stand ready to protect our schools when called upon. District Attorney Cody Wump's statement read, the conduct supports a felony false report charge. If suspects were to be located, the state would absolutely pursue prosecution. The behaviors is unacceptable, and in the world we're living in, these pranks are criminal and quite frankly terrorizing. It won't be tolerated. Mayor Kelly went on to say, in part, we are grateful for the speed and professionalism of our law enforcement partners and first responders who quickly arrived at the scene, cleared the school, and informed the public of the hoax. We will continue to share the new information about the Brainerd incident as we learn more. David?
Thank you, Dallas. Tomorrow, Chattanooga area pastors will pray at 7:14 a.m. at Brainerd High School just before classes begin. There are now fewer than 2,300 tickets for the St. Jude Dream Home remaining, and we want to show you a look inside the home. We're very proud of this because so many great contractors and builders and suppliers have made it a beautiful place to live. It's on a large corner lot in Harrison with more than 2,800 square feet with 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. It's a beauty, and you can get it for $100 if you're a winner in the drawing. All the money sold, all the tickets sold go to St. Jude Children's Hospital in Memphis. They do so much for families in need. So get your ticket as soon as you can because a sellout is expected soon. Thunder and David Carnes will be busy tomorrow afternoon, even busier than usual. They'll be working with the Hamilton County Emergency Management Team, programming weather radios at Academy Sports and Outdoors, Highway 153 in Hickson. You can stop by and see them from 2 to 7 o'clock tomorrow. You'll be able to purchase a weather radio at Academy or bring your old one if you'd like to get it programmed or the batteries checked. Our friends at Warren and Griffin will provide fresh batteries to power 100 weather radios. And Chief Meteorologist David Carnes is standing by now with your Wednesday evening forecast. David?
It is always a good time, DC, when we go out and see just literally dozens of people at each one of these events getting weather radios programmed, making themselves a little bit safer next time severe weather moves through. Want to share something with you, and thank you so much to Cindy in Riceville, our sky watcher, who alerted me to this. It's kind of slipped past the radar, no pun intended. The Ada Aquarids are going to be taking place. They're taking place actually right now, but they're going to be peaking including May 5th and 6th. I'm showing you now instead of tomorrow because we're going to have clouds building on the night of the 5th and 6th. You might want to go out there overnight tonight and try to see a few. Maybe you want to. They're going to be visible through May 28th. It's debris from Halley's Comet. Up to 50 meteors per hour expected on the night of the 5th and the 6th. And it is named after the brightest star in the Aquarius constellation. So there you go. A little something for you. Also, maybe doing a little fishing tomorrow. Well, it's going to be an average fishing day. You can see the sunrise and set, the moon rise and set. Major bite times, best time to be out there, 11:53 to 1:53 p.m. And then a second major bite time is going to be 11:19 p.m. to 1:19 a.m. And you see that water temperature, Nickajack and Chickamauga in the mid to upper 60s there. So it's warming up, isn't it? 7:15 is first pitch for the Lookout, 65 degrees by 7, down to 59 by 9. Maybe a light jacket, take it to the game. After sunset, it might get a little on the cool side. Fortunately, we're going to see the winds dying down, and it won't be as breezy. Right now, the winds are out of the north at 9 miles per hour, so it may be already starting to quiet down a bit. It's 70 in Chattanooga, 67 in Cleveland, 62 in Blue Ridge, and there we go, made it up to 71 for our high today. A chilly 41 this morning, my goodness. 78 the normal high, 55 the normal low. 69 in North Chattanooga, hit 71 in McDonald. Soddy Daisy 73, 73 East Brainerd, 69 in Trenton, hit 75 in Jasper, 68 in Dunlap, 70 in 10 Mile, and 71 degrees in Murphy, North Carolina. Looking at pretty clear skies through the night tonight into the overnight. It is again going to be cool in the morning, and then we'll warm it up. Great afternoon on Thursday. Friday, not a bad start to the day, but then Friday afternoon, despite the warm front over us, it's actually going to be a little bit cooler. We're going to have rain showers through much of the afternoon, and then that's going to lift off through the day Saturday. I know we have a big rummage sale at Dallas Bay Church. Somebody was just emailing me about that. Whatever you have planned on Saturday, it's not going to be a washout, but we are going to have clouds and sporadic showers popping up on and off throughout the day as this low pressure works its way through. It is going to be a cloudy day as well. So the breeze is beginning to calm down. We'll drop it to the mid to upper 30s and low 40s. And then what a nice warm up. Awesome. 75 degrees in the afternoon. Low to mid 70s all up and down the valley. And your storm alert 7-day forecast. Here we go. Putting the chance of showers Friday afternoon through Saturday at 40%. Warming back up to 77 Saturday. 83 Sunday with only a 20% chance of a shower or storm. And you might see a few sporadic showers and storms Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But the big deal is that temperature. Look at that. Low to mid 80s. Wow.
Wow, indeed. Thank you. Ben Bobick joins us now. And, you know, it may be best if the Braves don't come home for a while. You know, they say there's no place like home, but I'm starting to wonder.
Seriously, the numbers don't lie. Life is good for them.
On the road.
For them and the fans.
Yeah.
They stay away from Truist Park. We'll explain what we mean. And you may just agree. The Mocs men's golf team is back where they belong, competing with the best. They're going dancing. We'll hear from the team after the break in sports. Chattanooga is one of the more underrated areas in the country for golf. I mean, how many high schools can say they have 4 alums competing on the PGA Tour? It used to be evident in the city's university. The Mocs golf program was flat out one of the best in the nation. Well, now they're well on their way to reclaiming past glory. For the first time since 2014, the Chattanooga men's golf team is back in the NCAA tournament. The Mocs claimed an at-large bid for the Auburn Regional. It's the 9th time the team has qualified and 13th year overall. The team currently sits in the top 50 nationally. Junior Paul Conroy received an individual bid last year, but he's excited to be able to make it with this team this year.
I don't think we need to change anything. I mean, we've been playing solid. Just need to keep doing what we've been doing. You know, keep being smart and, yeah, don't force it, which is kind of what we've tried to do a lot this semester. Coach is big on sort of letting the golf course come to us and take the chances when we have them. And, yeah, I think that's going to be big down there, too.
Regionals are at the University Club in Auburn and will begin Monday, May 15th and last through the 17th. There's no place like home. We've known that since 1939. But the 2023 Braves edition may go a bit different because there's a good chance they would tell Glinda, the Good Witch of the North, do I really have to click these slippers 3 times to go home? Because we don't want to. Why? Let's talk. The Braves boast a 20-10 record this season with 13 of those 20 wins coming away from Truist Park. That's right, the Braves are 13-3 on the road in 2023 and just 7-7 at home. If I only had a brain, I'd tell you how and why. We do have a Brian, and Snitker, the manager, really has no care to pay attention to what's behind the curtain.
Sometimes you play good at home and not on the road, and play good on the road, you know, whatever. I don't know what it is, honestly. I don't think I can point to anything. It's just the way that it's rolled, you know, thus far. I don't have any idea why.
And a big congrats to Ronald Acuna Jr., who was named National League Player of the Month for March and April. Well deserved. Could this finally be the MVP season we've been waiting for? It's May. Braves and Fish at 6:40. Kyle Wright versus Braxton Garrett. It's game 2 on Hawk Hill between the Lookies and Barons. Chattanooga aiming to bounce back after a 5-3 loss last night. First pitch is at 7:15. And some great news for one of our own here in the area as Meigs County grad and Lady Vols pitcher Ashley Rogers was named a finalist for the USA Softball National Player of the Year Award, considered to be the most prestigious individual honor in Division I softball. Rogers is a finalist along with teammate Kiki Malloy. Rogers has been dominating this season with a 14-1 record, 4 shutouts, and a .81 ERA. And some more awesome news about one of our own. ESPN Films announced today they're in production on one of their 30 for 30 documentaries on Chattanooga legend Reggie White. It's called The Minister of Defense, rightfully so, and it includes never-before-seen footage from a 2004 interview White did just 2 months before his death. His son Jeremy is also a vocal point of the documentary as he embarks on a journey to learn more about his father's life and legacy. If you don't know what these 30 for 30s are at home, they are fantastic. They're always done so thorough, so well. You always take away something you may not have known about someone. So I imagine, obviously, Chattanooga going to be prominent in that 30 for 30 on one of their own.
Even if you're not a sports fan.
Yeah,
30 for 30 is amazing.
That's a great way to put it, David.
Good storytelling.
Yes, it's awesome.
And there's so much to say about Reggie. I hope they have his funny side. He was a funny guy. He could do impersonations like Muhammad Ali and stuff. He was fantastic. Great personality.
Awesome. Lookouts, I believe they're playing a baseball game tonight. Yeah, outside it's going to be really, really nice. The winds are going to die down. You might want a light jacket just toward the end of the night. If you're thin-blooded, of weak constitution maybe, you'll want that. It's 59 degrees by 9 p.m., but boy, is it going to be nice tomorrow. We're talking about a high of 75 degrees after a chilly start to the day.
Well, I was going to wear my jacket, but I don't want to be accused of being weak-blooded with a thin constitution. I may brave the elements now.
In no particular
each
order.
to himself.
I guess so. I'm a little concerned about that.
No jackets.
We want to thank you for watching. NBC Nightly News is next, right here.